Yeah. One more time around. Everything's slowing down. Can't control it. Say that you're for me. Right now I need loyalty. It's hard for me to trust you. I've been in before this. I've been through the troubles. It's hard to let you in. I've been giving you the runaround. I double on the dosage. I don't need emotion. No. Right now we young and we dumb and we lit. Been thinking back before when we was kids, yeah. I was caught up in the mist, yeah. And we live for the moment, respond to a calling. It's bigger than all of us, right to the wheels. Give anything to feel something new. High if I fall, no, I did it going all in. At the time of my life, right for the squad. No lights through the fog, but we made it, yeah. I'll be good by the morning. I feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. Real eyes see real eyes, real shit, real life, real rare. I'm on edge, I make noise, they all is, no cap, all facts. Eyes low, but I'm still woke. No patience, heart glacier, can't see me. The young ghost, phone blaring, overbearing. Shit a blessing that I overcherish. Got these rap niggas eyes open glaring, cause they overjealous. I'm so overzealous. Whiskey side with the rosemary. And used to want it, not a whole staring. I was back before I could afford to care. Now we on course to take the tour to Paris. I blew up the bag, that hit me as bad. The guy from the racks that they chastised. They can fast die, telling mad lies. Going back, tell them get they act right. On my last life, I poured a potion, I've been out of orbit. I've been moving slowly, got me going up, it got my head clouded. I'll be good by the morning. At the time of my life, right for the squad. No lights through the fog, but we made it, yeah. I'll be good by the morning. Feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling. Feel like I'm falling. It feel like I'm falling.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for holding. I am running a little bit behind. A little bit. I appreciate your patience on this. We'll get the show started. Well, in the time that it takes for the intro to play. All right. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. A lot has happened within the last 24 hours. And then because it's a Friday, you know me, I like to do a little bit of a weekend review. I call it humans worse than COVID. I've got a group of three humans that I know you'll agree with me that are far worse than COVID 19. And what about COVID 19? We don't even talk about it no more. It's almost like there isn't really a pandemic, but sit tight. Don't go anywhere. We'll get started. Plus, you had another NAACP City Council forum. I don't know. You might be bored of it at this point. I'm not. I think it's hella important, and this is election season. It was hosted by Iris Rowley, and it was or she was moderated by Iris Rowley, hosted by the Prince Hall Masons and the Cincinnati NAACP, empowered by CDM. It was quite interesting. You had a different caliber of folks who were there. At least one incumbent and at least one person who had already been on city council. So it kind of adds a different mix to it. But I'll give you the highlights, everything that happened, what went down, so you get a chance to get your thoughts about who you're going to vote for. I mean, hell, early voting starts next week. Early voting starts next week. So it's a home stretch for the candidates. And speaking of which, I got a chance to talk with one of the candidates before the forum started. And this candidate says something that I agree with you. I'm going to share with you this morning. But I want to talk about, do women make better business partners than men from the male perspective? Like if you build a team, you know, do you want to have a lot of women on your team more than men? Is there something about the nature of a woman or the attitude of women in particular that make them better business partners? I want to get your thoughts about that this morning at 513-873-7134. It's based upon something I saw on a Breakfast Club video a long time ago. But I want to talk about with you this morning. Also, everyone knows that Chadwick Boseman passed away. It was so tragic. Damn, it was tragic. Not Chadwick. And that was the brother that played Black Panther, who a lot of people thought that was a good movie. And since his passing, there's been a lot of conversation about what Marvel Studios is going to do. Are they going to follow the storylines of the comic books, right? In which Black Panther, the mantle of Black Panther, is handed down to T'Challa's little sister Siri, or should they replace the actor with another male actor? I got a strong opinion about that. I want to share with you this morning at 513-873-7134. Again, if you want to share your thoughts, I'm here to receive them. All the coach of the Bengals has to do is get the team to the AFC Championship a couple of times. That's all he got to do. And if he messes around and takes his team, he don't even got to take the team to the Super Bowl, and he'll be loved here in Cincinnati. I did not get a chance to watch the game live. I caught it on YouTube afterward. I do know the Bengals came back. They rallied in the second half and won with a last-second field goal here in Cincinnati. And people are in love. People are in love again. Y'all smitten. They are smitten. And while I did watch the game live, I did get a chance to pick up on some of the energy from the team. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Speaking of the NFL, within the last 24 hours, it was announced the artists that are going to entertain the world during the halftime of the upcoming Super Bowl. And it's big. You talk about big names like Dr. Dre. Yeah. Eminem, yeah. Where's MGK? Rap Devil, classic. Anyway, who else? Mary J. Blige. What? They're bringing out the big guns. Kaepernick, who? Kaepernick, what? I mean, what the hell is what the F is a Kaepernick? When you got a lineup like this. Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. Yeah, man. That Jay-Z connection finally paying off for the NFL. And of course, you can't forget Snoop And I want to talk about Snoop in a little more detail this morning. 513-873-7134. So all that's coming up real soon. Don't go anywhere. The price of admission is free. Just sit back, take a free ride of my thoughts. I'll do all the hefty living, all you lifting. All you gotta do is kick back, turn me up. I'll try my best to keep the language in check. I'll try my best. Check out the intro, and then we'll get started on the other side.
NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey, yo, John O. B. the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning to you. Let's get back to the show. Good morning. Remember, it's hard to be the person who never gives up. It's very hard to be the person who never gives up. Good morning to you. Welcome back to the last honest place in Cincinnati media. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope that your last 24 hours have been well. Matter of fact, we were together. Some of you folks were on the stream last night. So we'll get straight to it. I want to get your thoughts about that NAACP forum. What did you think? It's your opinion that matters way more than mine. Let me got the cover up still here. Yeah. You have Victoria Parks, Jamie Castle, Scotty Johnson, a.k.a. Scotty, the talk radio hottie. I didn't come up with him that. I didn't come up with that name. Steve Gooden. Now, Brother O'Neill was not there. I don't know what happened with that. Don't know what happened to that. And Kevin Flynn. Now, what's unique about this particular group is that you've got one incumbent, which is Steve Gooden, and Kevin Flynn used to be on city council. Quite interesting. Jamie Parks, she was a Hamilton County commissioner. Remember, she took over for Todd Portune. I think she came up with a deal with the Democrats where, you know, whoever won the race, she was going to step down, and that's what she did, and that's why you got Alicia Reese. Jamie Council, she ran for Congress some time ago. Scotty Johnson, black male police officer, right? Remember him? And Steve Gooden, we talked with him last week. We know Steve Gooden. Didn't talk to Brother O'Neill yet. Brother O'Neill. I was talking with one of the candidates beforehand. They made they were straight on point. They were like, damn, Nate, you know, with 35 candidates, I just don't see the type of energy that you see in other years. You know, he was like, you know, this person was like, by now, you see all kind of yard signs. And I do see a few yard signs, but with 35 candidates, man, you would think it'd be yard signs everywhere. But now here we are coming into the last month. You know, we're basically a month away from the election. I believe it's November the 7th. So perhaps you'll start to see more of that media and stuff like that. You'll hear more ads and things like that and see more yard signs. But, you know, I would think that I would have seen a whole lot more. And maybe it's COVID. But I was expecting more. Maybe it's COVID. We'll put it all on COVID. But I was expecting more energy and just more traffic. But what do you think What do you think about the big form last night? I wanted to get your thoughts. People in here already with their who they. Check out Brandy. Good morning. It's Friday. Finally. Who they? See, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Oh, look at you, son. Looking good. Hold on. Let me put the cam up so everybody can see you. There it is. Boom. There you are. What you gonna say?
I know how to read.
Camera's right there.
I know how to read.
Good. That's good.
I know how to read.
You stop with the baby talk. Say good morning into the microphone.
Good morning.
Okay. You look nice in that. What is that? Let me see. Okay. Looks nice on you. All right. You ready for this?
We both have jackets.
Yeah, we do have jackets on. It's gonna be a little chilly for a little while. Huh?
Are you ready for what?
I said it's gonna be chilly for a little while.
I said when before that.
I don't remember.
You said, "Are you ready for this?"
I didn't say are you ready for this.
Yes, you did.
I did I? Maybe I was about to say something. You interrupted me. Could be that. Hey, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't like this light. This light is too something. Not sure what it is about it, but I don't like it. But I'm gonna change that though. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning. How are you? Yeah, the Bengal fans, man. We'll give you a little bit of love and move on because y'all just incorrigible. Y'all talk all that issue about the terrible towels, but Bengal fans can't wait to supplant the Pittsburghs and to be just as obnoxious as Steeler fans. Let's be real here. Let's be real. You just can't wait to knock them off the perch so you can take over and be the most obnoxious team in the AFC. What is it, Central? That's all it is. Stop playing with yourself because I already know. Anthony writes, "Good morning, Chop Shops." Good morning to you, Anthony. Welcome. Good morning. Let's see. And like and share. Absolutely. Chuck writes, "Sup." Tiffany writes, "Who they? Who they?" Y'all is funny, man. Good morning, Nathan Choppers. Pat writes, "Good morning, Choppers." Joe writes, "Good grand risings, Nate and the Choppers." Regina writes, "Good morning. It's the first day of October. It's Libra season. Let's go." It's Libra season? Damn. That means Virgo season is over with. Daryl writes, "Are you going to talk on Ellen Pompeo? Hadn't planned on it." Billy writes, "Send me a link. Jay-Z is trying to make up for that horrible halftime show last year with, who was it last year? Who was it? I don't remember who was last year. I really don't. When you say last year, do you mean this year? Because the Super Bowl from last season was earlier this year, right? It was in February or something like that. I don't remember who it was. Was it the weekend or something like that? I don't know. Susan's like, who they Choppers? Y'all need to stop. Y'all is so obnoxious. Jason writes, Nate more than chops. David writes, "We moved Philip O'Neill to October 12th, but didn't have time to switch out the flyer." Oh, okay. David writes, "Good morning, Nate and Choppers." Jason says, "What's up, the little man?" David writes, "Good morning, Junior. Remember your vibranium." Speaking of which, there's a little bit of a conversation going on right now about really the conversation was some time ago, but we're waiting to see what Marvel is going to do with the upcoming Black Panther series because they have plans that are bigger than Chadwick Boseman. And I'll be honest with you, at first I was like, you know what, no more Black Panther movies because Chadwick, he was iconic in it, right? He was classic. You can never do another movie, a Black Panther movie without Chadwick, but I've since been moved to feel otherwise. There should be more Black Panther movies. And there's some really good reason behind it. And I don't know if you know this, there's no reason why you should, but in the comic books, Black Panther, the mantle of Black Panther gets taken over by his little sister Siri. So you've got a female Black Panther, right? But that's in the comic books. In the real world, I think the Black Panther should always be played by a man, by a male actor, and a Black male actor at that. And I'll tell you why in just a couple of minutes. You don't want to miss that. 513-873-7134. Nikki's in the house. Good morning to you. Deborah says, no sound. What? I can hear myself. Morning, young sir. Good morning to you. Deborah writes, these newbies don't understand that voting patterns have changed. They think it's a 10-day prior to election window. Big mistake. I mean, hell, early voting starts next week. A lot of people saying good morning to Junior. The light is jazz remish. It is. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's a little too much. It's too much tone to it, but I'll take care of that. DeVoe's in the house. He writes, "Get Grand Rise in Cincinnati. Good to see you, brother." Brenda writes, "Good morning." The Weekend halftime. Oh, that was last year. Okay, great. Billy writes, "Yeah, Nate. This year it was trash." Okay, was it? I barely remember. I think so. I think he was like in a, I don't know. Weekend's got big music. Sharp writes, "TGIF Nate and the Choppers. Welcome to the first day of October." Ray writes, "Grand Risings." I'm checking out your link right now, Daryl. Good morning to you. I'll check it out. Said Ellen Pompeo. Ellen Pompeo says she and Denzel Washington class when he directed Grey's This Is My Show. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't see that. Nope. Darlene writes, "Greetings to all and happy Friday." She said it was briefly, came back. Great. Okay, great. You know, give it a little bit. You know how this is. You already know how this is. Good morning to you. Kelly writes, "Good morning." Dale writes, "Okay." Thank you, Daryl. I did see that link. I may check it out and talk about it more. Good morning to you. Everybody in that bit. I will say this though, when I watched the clips, the little bits of the game, again, I did see some of the last week's game. I think that you see different energy on the field. You know what I'm saying? Definitely see different energy on the field. And despite what people have said about Joe, he appears to be a quarterback that can make those difficult throws. So we'll see, man. Like I said, to all my Bengal fans, enjoy it. But the NFL is bringing out the big guns. You know, no amount of consciousness could ever withstand the onslaught of the big guns, meaning the celebrities. All them folks that stepped away from the NFL, they coming back. Watch, I guarantee it. The only thing they missing is R. Kelly. That's it. That's all they missing. And it's almost like unfair, quite honestly, because a lot of people turn their back on the NFL because of what happened with Kaepernick and equity and things like that. But now they coming back with a halftime show with Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, and Snoop Dogg. Oh my God, there's no amount of consciousness that can ever withstand that. Everybody's gonna be watching it. Watch. People gonna be like, taking a what? Kaepernick what? Can I help you? Can I help you? Okay. We'll let him stay. Nikki writes, R. Kelly can watch from his jail cell. DeVray writes, the light looks orange filter. It is orange filter. Give me a second here and I'll fix it. It is a little way too orange for me. People saying, "What's up?" The stare, LOL. Right? He just comes in, just looks around. Give me 1 second. Let me change that for you because it's irritating the heck out of me too. Give me 1 second here, family. That's all I need. This boy is nuts. But put your shoes on, man, because you know your mother gonna be upset with you, man. Nah, don't wait for anybody. Put your shoes on. I mean, he waiting for Kendall. It's our daughter. And put your shoes on. What? Oh boy, here we going. We don't want to do that. Hold on 1 second, family. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you all my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, show mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Any up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old.
All right, I'm back.
I'm on
I'm back. Thank you for stopping. Appreciate that. Hopefully it's a little bit better. It's not perfect. See, I don't like that either, though. It's too much. But don't worry about it. I'll take care of that. Don't you worry about it. Let me handle that a little bit later. Good morning to you. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it right at this point. A lot of people saying well wishes to Junior. Darlene writes, did you watch the Big Brother finale? I did. I did watch the Big Brother finale. Xavier won. I thought that Big D, man, he was running game. He was running straight game. All right, see you later. Running straight game, trying to get that cash. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at the brother at all. You know, he like he was the mastermind, first time ever. But like I told people, what's going to be interesting is what is that CBS, ABC, what ABC or CBS does next. Are they going to put 6 black people on there at the beginning? Because what happens now is they got a little bit of a issue. They really do. Because if they don't put, and again, we'll see how much the audience responds to it. If they don't put as many black people on the show next year, it's going to come across as if they're trying to make sure that black people don't take over like they did this year. If you don't know, Big Brother is a reality show where people are basically sequestered in a house for like 3 months, along with, I don't know, 15, 16 other people. And basically it's a weekly elimination, winner takes all type of format. And you've got different challenges. People come together to form alliances so they can try to make it to the final, to be the final house guest. And that house guest wins $750,000. So you already know. It's been around for like 21 seasons. And they've never had a black person that ever won, because the black people always are outnumbered and they always get voted off first. Black males especially. If you got an alpha male in the house, the white folks get together and they get his ass out. It'd be on some like, Leroy's a great guy. He's a damn good competitor too, you know, that kind of stuff. And before you know it, every single year, a non-black person would win. So this year, they made either the calculated decision or the mistake to put a significant amount of black folks on there. And what did they do? They all came together and started the Cookout, great name. And they were determined that it was going to be the year for the first black bachelor. They had, and it was lovely on some levels, man, because it's rare to see that kind of shit in the black community. It's very, very rare. And it's part of what stalls our growth, because it's one thing for people to come together. It's another for black people to be willing to sacrifice for another black person to win for the greater good. That's what the moral of that whole thing was. Some people might have missed it. It wasn't just that black people can come together and we understand its powers and numbers. It's, are you willing to sacrifice for your brother, for your sister, so they can win? And even though you ain't getting the cash, it's coming to want somebody that looks like you. And that's what becomes more difficult. That's the real challenge for people across the world, period. Again, it's one thing to ask people to come together, but most people ain't willing to sacrifice anything. And especially most men, which kind of all blends in to my question, do women make better business partners than men? I want to hear from men. I want to get your perspective. I want to get the male perspective on that. You ever worked with a woman before, been in business with a woman before, had a partnership with a woman before? Have you ever had partnerships with men? Who make better partners? Okay, but see, that's the issue. So I did watch it, Darlene. It was, I haven't watched Big Brother in a long time because I don't want to see all the brothers that look like me taken home early. I lose my interest. I used to tell the wife, I don't care if anybody wins. You know what I'm saying? But this year, for the last week or two, it was number of black folks in the house, which is a small thing, but it's big for that particular show. So again, that's the moral of the story. It's two of us. Number one, reinforcing what we already know, that when folks come together and you got numbers, you can make things happen, right? But then be willing to sacrifice so the next man or woman wins, even though you're not getting a check, they getting a check. That's what's much harder. That's way more. That's way more rare. That's a very rare thing. You don't really find that like in the natural world every single Most people, especially if you're dealing with men, every man want to be the king. They want to do it. They want to run it. Most men are not going to take a step back or not do something because another brother, even if it is a brother, is doing something and you want to see one of y'all win. In the real world, people don't do that. They don't do that. And that's what was so rare about that show. That's what made it so unique, is because at the end of the day, only one person's going to win. They all knew that. They just said they wanted somebody black to win, period. And that's what made it so damn unique. Y'all should have if y'all missed that, it was worth it. Danita writes, good morning. I got here and see Junior being a strong silent type. Happy Friday, choppers. Yeah. Anthony writes, Bengals can't afford to keep getting off the slow starts. Will be very hard to play catch up against high scoring teams. Yeah. Tracy writes, can't wait to see the comments by the others who will say that was the worst halftime show ever. Speaking of halftime show, we got to talk about the omnipresent Snoop Dogg. He went from catching a murder case to now doing a halftime at the Super Bowl. This man has been relevant for 3 decades. 3 decades. How in the hell has he done it? How's he done it? Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Nat writes, Joe Burrow is real deal. We'll see. We'll see. Susan writes, Nate was giving us his who they lighting for a minute there. You caught that, huh? So you got the orange in the back. But again, those are really my colors. That little tinge of orange or a little bit of blue. Sister Irish writes, good morning, great people. Jerome writes, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. I saw Sister Iris did a good job last night, holding the candidates accountable. In particular, at some point, she had to help correct one of the candidates when she referred to the social unrest as riot. And I was so grateful. I would have did the same thing myself, because I think words matter, especially in that case. Especially in that case. We cannot allow local people to refer to that social unrest as a riot, because you are downplaying the social and political significance of it. That was a reaction. That was a reaction to long-time suffering, long-time abuse. That's what that was. It matters. But generally speaking, I thought it was very interesting. Again, you had a very interesting mix. You have Steve Gooden there, who is an incumbent, albeit he has not been elected. He was placed there and replaced a Jeff Pastor. Damn, look at how things have changed. Sidebar. You just had to know, but let's be real here about Jeff Pastor. Sidebar. You just had to know that shit was going to go bad when it started the way that it did, with the $25,000 checks. Remember that? Jeff going to the neighborhood, to different churches, giving folks $25,000. You just had to know some shit was going to go down. Sidebar. Come on now, keep it real with me. It's the last time this plays in Cincinnati. We keep it real. 100%. Tanika writes, dang, Nate, you have to get a spoiler alert. For what? Oh, she writes, she says, I wasn't finished watching Big Brother. Really? Damn. Sorry about that. Damn, I thought everybody was. Clack writes, morning, Nate and Choppers. Tiffany writes, oh, I wanted the black lady to win. Black lady, black man, either way. Somebody black won the first time. Let's see what CBS does next year. If they don't put as many black people on there, they sabotage the black community, right? They try to stop us. They're trying to stop our black excellence. And if they do, then moving forward, it will forever and always be white versus black. It's going to be a race shit. It's going to be a race show. That's what it's going to be. Forever and always. Now, they might put some plants in there that, purpose. They might come up with some rules or something like that. It'll be interesting. Because, see, what we know about the real world is that American history tells us that when black people win, they try to reset the rules. That's what they've done historically. So this is a modern day microcosm. Let's see what they do. Let's just watch. Be very interesting. New rules and all this kind of ish. Danica writes, Tamar Braxton won a celebrity version. Pat writes, Big D Frazier got a big chunk of money. Right. I didn't even realize it because my daughter said it. That was Smoking Joe's Frazier boy. Is that his son or his grandson? There's a character named Big D Frazier. Either his father or his grandfather is Smoking Joe Frazier. You know, the guy that Muhammad Ali used to disrespect, Muhammad Ali was wrong for that. He was wrong for that. He was wrong for two things: turning his back on Malcolm. You're wrong for that, Muhammad Ali. And what you said to Smoke and Joe Frazier. You was dead wrong. Crystal writes, I can't watch Big Brother. Yeah, why would you? Well, no black folks on there, but this year black folks ran it. They ran everybody out. It was quite interesting. David writes, the cookout reassembled the blueprint. Again, but the blueprint is that not everybody is going to win individually. Are you willing to sacrifice so your brother or sister can win because you think they already either in that lane or they got a good shot at winning? And that's where we fall out. That's where we fall out, you know what I'm saying, the community. And this is bigger than just black folks. Don't nobody want to sacrifice. That is rare. Everybody want to have, everybody want to experience, but sacrifice, ain't nobody trying to sacrifice. Why should I say I deserve to win just as much as you deserve to win? That's the kind of conversation people get into. Good morning to you. Krista writes, now they got naked people running around the woods for money. Really? Clack writes, I think females make better business partners. So this goes back some time ago. I was watching The Breakfast Club. They had Dame Dash on. He talked about how he surrounds himself with female energy, not male energy, because men like to compete. And he said, you understand it. He said, every man want to be the alpha. Every dude want to be the boss. Nobody want to be the assistant. You want to be the man in charge, right? He was like, who do the girls want? The girls want the boss. I thought about this, and I think that there's an element to that. And having worked with women and work with men as well, I will say it really depends on the individual. It really, really does. But, you know, kind of generally speaking, I do see something different from women than I do from men. I do. And it says a lot of favorable things about women. So I asked the question, you know, do women make better business partners than men? I want to get your thoughts about it. Just something to talk about this morning. I'm curious. And if so, why? If so, why? Sakina's in the house. She writes, good morning, Nathan Ivy. Hey, good to see you, Sakina. Good morning to you. Do women make better business? I'm talking from a male perspective. Now, if you're a woman, then you've got that female perspective, woman's perspective. I want the man's perspective, the male perspective on this. Maybe based upon your observations. Maybe it's based upon your experiences. But I'd like to get your thoughts this morning at 513-873-7134. Not 3 more, 34. 7134. Matter of fact, let me go ahead, since I mangled it. Why don't I go ahead and just make it easy for you and put it on the screen. There it is. I know my lights look crazy. You ain't got to tell me. I already know. Good morning, and welcome back. Kevin Flynn tried to play the compassionate conservative role after he helped sink Yvette Simpson's campaign. Sister Iris writes, yes, sir, language matters. Most definitely. Kali is writes, morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Maurice writes, I have a question. Why is it that we struggle but foreigners can come here and be prosperous? Biden and his crew gave Afghans, what, 500 million? According to the 2020 census, white folks are the minority. As I stated before, Arabs, Asians, Hispanics classify themselves as white. Wake up. He said, let's think. Okay, let's deal with this question. I have a question. Why is it that we struggle but foreigners can come here and be prosperous? I think it's a mentality thing. Let's assume that what you're saying is true for the sake of keeping the conversation together on a Friday morning. I think it's because of a different perspective. If you're African American, I think you got a different perspective than if you are an immigrant. I think you look at this country different. You look at what you think this country owes you differently, and you might even look at the people around you a little bit differently. I think that's why I said that is. I think the other thing is, I don't know anything about the Afghans getting 500 million. I haven't read that, so I don't know. But I think the other thing is, I think there's a lot of myths about what foreigners get when they come here. There's a lot of myths about that. And I've never found any evidence to suggest that foreigners come here and able to get, I don't know, no interest loans from the government. I'm sure there are programs that may kind of touch that, but there's programs that touch people in a lot of different ways for African Americans as well. So I think some of that is like a myth. I'm not sure I really believe all of that, right? Well, when foreigners come over here, man, they get the red carpet treatment. They get free homes. They get no interest loans. They just be giving them money. I don't know if that's really true or not. I know it sounds good because, sometimes, we like to play the victim, but I'm not really sure if that's true or not. I'm not saying it's not 100% some kind of financial incentives out there, but we want that. I want immigrants to come over here and be able to get access to capital and start something. Just like I want, us to be able to do the same thing. But let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Oh, okay. I think he hung up. Call me back. 513-873-7134. That's just my thoughts. His son. That's his son. Damn. Smoking Joe was getting it in at a late age. That's his son, huh? Okay. Yeah, as soon as my daughter told me, I could see it in his face. Must not be no money left. Why is Smoking Joe Frazier's son on Big Brother scheming for $750,000? I mean, 700, that's more is more, right? But he came across like he really needed it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing just fine. Welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Always a pleasure to speak with you. However, you on some BS this morning. And I'm pretty disgusted about it. First of all, you're selling fantasy to black folks once again. This Big Brother cookout. So, first of all, you do realize that is a scripted reality show, right?
Well, yes and no.
Yes or no? No qualification. You do realize
yes
that is
no?
a scripted reality show. I'm sorry?
It's some of it is scripted, like the games are scripted, but not the outcomes.
So that cookout business that these 6 black contestants done came up with, that's a part of the damn script. Once again, the movement is being co-opted. This time by a reality show.
Huh?
The movement, the cookout, ain't that about the hey, some black culture, you ain't invited to the cookout, ain't that what that is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd it get
It's
co-opted?
being co-opted by this damn TV show.
Uh-huh.
It's being co-opted. Again, the ideology and everything.
Uh-huh.
And you're selling that to us. And I'm like, no, he can't. He is not doing this. No, he's not.
So I'm selling what? What do you think I'm doing now? I'm selling what to us?
Fantasy. Like you were going all crazy over the Black Panther movie years ago when it came out. When Black Lion had to tap you a little bit.
When Black Lion had to tap me a little bit, I don't remember that, bro. But okay.
He's putting them paws on you for real for about a week about the Black Lion movie.
Really, what was he
real
saying?
toppers know.
I don't remember that.
I forgot what happened. I just remember, you getting off the radio bruised and battered.
Yeah.
After talking to him about that fantasy about the black, about selling black folks fantasies.
Yeah, that's the fantasy. Right about
okay.
that.
And also, Dame Dash ain't never been more wrong. You know what his problem is? He can't lead men. Talk about he likes being around women CEOs. No, you can't lead men. That's the problem.
Didn't he help lead
you
Rockefeller?
Alienate him. No, and what happened? Rockefeller split.
Yeah, but a lot of companies split.
Everybody
Don't mean they
left
a lot
him,
of companies
Nathan.
split for a lot of different factors that may have nothing to do with the leadership.
So it was pure leadership. You're in office meetings, going off, crying, cursing, going off.
Sometimes
Men don't
that's
want to
what's
be around
necessary.
that emotional energy. Men don't want to be led by that emotional energy. That's all. Some people ain't cut out to lead men. He's one of them. He's 5'6", and he's angry. Men don't want to be around that.
Somebody I know. It sounds like somebody I know.
Who said that? Who said
I
that?
said it. I said it sounds like you just described somebody I know.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. We ain't gonna get into that. But listen,
5'6" and angry with emotional energy. You just described yourself.
Yes.
You just described yourself.
I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah, okay.
A whopping 6 foot tall, and I will brawl.
Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be a tough out for you. So therefore, I can lead men.
Oh, okay.
But Dame Dash can't, and he doesn't realize that. He gets into a room full of men Nobody's listening to him because he's too loud, he's too obnoxious, and he's emotional. And it's because of his Napoleon complex. That's all that is with him. I'm sorry. So I think you need to take that back. You should have rethought about that before you certified that BS he's saying. You understand me? But
are you
hey,
going, since you
Nathan,
brought it up, are you going to answer the question? The question is, do women make better business partners than men? That's the question.
do women make better business partners? I don't know. I don't. I don't. I honestly don't know. I've never had a female business partner, but I know I would never be led by Dame Dash. I can tell I would never want to work under his guidance, his leadership, nothing. So what he says about that, I'm disregarding instantly because I've seen you in a leadership role and it completely failed.
It did not completely fail.
Okay. That's why him and Jay-Z are back and forth in lawsuits now.
I mean,
and as far as Snoop Dogg,
sometimes business ends
Snoop.
that way.
Right. And as far as Snoop Dogg, Mr. Snoop, you're too old and been famous for too long to still be doing interviews wearing sunglasses and a hoodie. I don't want to hear nothing about image or nothing like that. You're 50 years old. You're 50. Lose the sunglasses. Quit being high in interviews. But if you don't want to do all that, at least take off the hoodie on a national televised interview for the NFL. You know, and I told you back when all this was going on that all them Kaepernick supporters were fake woke because if you really paid attention, he was a biracial dude who got benched, and so he went to his last saving grace. Oh, I'm black.
That's not what happened. It's funny. You still don't even understand what happened with Kaepernick. You still don't get it.
You still don't even understand that.
You still don't even understand what happened with Colin Kaepernick after all this time, brother.
Yes, I do.
Damn shame.
He got benched. He had a temper tantrum because he got benched.
That's not what happened.
You know, freedom of speech stops at your employer's door.
That's not what happened, and you're disrespecting the lives of the people that Kaepernick was trying to make us all remember when you put it that way. You disrespecting all those people.
And Negro's been getting busted by police since, and he's done nothing. He was quiet as kept. He took $10 million and bounced.
Until he wasn't.
I'm sorry?
I said until he wasn't.
No, he took $10 million and bounced.
I'm just saying, you say he was quiet as kept, and I'm telling you until he wasn't. And it was when he opened his mouth that the NFL blackballed the brother because he wanted to raise awareness about police officers killing unarmed black people. Period.
You can try to save face all you want to.
I'm not trying to save face, man. Those are the facts that you keep disrespecting. You disrespecting the memory of the people that he was trying to lift up when you do that. That's what you're doing. You're trying to be funny, but you're being disrespectful. Once again.
Can I get this point out?
Yeah, get it out.
Can I say this?
Of course.
Here is a fact that you keep disrespecting. When he had that botched tryout in Atlanta, where he was fronting like he wanted to play.
Free Kunta Kinte t-shirt on.
The very first words out of your mouth on Monday were, and I quote, "I'm not going to lie. I thought of what Fame was saying. He doesn't want to play."
I don't care whether he wants to play or not. You keep making this
okay.
Now
you've been
making the same point about Kaepernick for years, man. Who cares whether he wanted to play again? That ain't the point.
That is the point.
That is not the point.
That's why he's not in the league.
That's not the point.
That's why he's not in the league.
That's not the point.
That's not the point.
That's why he's
not in the league.
The point with Colin Kaepernick is that he had the balls to take a stand on that platform. And then he was blackballed. That is what matters.
Notice how every person who takes a stand for the black community is high yellow. You're being played. How do you not see this?
Well, then, until the brown-skinned brothers like you stand up, until the brown and dark-skinned brothers like you stand up, it's going to have to be the high yellow brothers.
I'm not in the league.
What was Malcolm X?
He was light skinned. He had freckles.
All right then. So what does high, yellow, and light skin have to do with it? Whoever stand up, stand up.
I don't know. I just
You
told
ain't
you that.
standing up.
They're always the ones. They're always
That's
considered
right.
our leaders.
Because the
Because
5'6"
they're
brown
more-
skin brothers like you ain't stepping up. So it's got to be the
5'6",
6-foot light
really?
skin brothers to step
Did
up.
you say
at least in
5'6"
that-
really? Are you going to be insulting?
Okay,
We're trying to have a
5'7".
serious phone
You
call,
5'7".
and you want to result to jokes?
Man,
and
live your
insults.
best life,
You're
bro.
better than
Ain't
this.
nothing wrong with being
You're better than
5'7".
this.
That's a minor point. Don't get all emotional.
You're better than this. You're better
No,
than
I'm
this.
not. No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So you're admitting you're the scum of the earth, like the insult you're calling.
I'm just saying I'm not better than anything. I'm just saying what I had to say.
Now, all of our leaders are always high yellow, light skinned. You know, even Muhammad Ali that you mentioned.
Malcolm, I mean, Martin wasn't light skinned. What are you talking about?
Who?
Martin.
Who?
Luther King Jr.
You talking about 5 foot? You talking about 5'6"?
I'm talking about Martin
Luther
Luther King Jr., the dude that took a bullet
Yeah.
and knew it was coming. That dude. Malcolm X knew a bullet was coming. He took that bullet. Those dudes. I don't understand what your point is, sir.
5'6" non-threatening Malcolm.
He must have been a threat to somebody because they killed him.
He wasn't a threat to anybody. He was just put out in the block. You know we're going to take you out. He wasn't threatening. I'm talking about physically threatening.
He must have been a threat to somebody because he was assassinated.
I mean, you know, there's racists everywhere that just probably just were going berserk. And the powers that be knew that would happen.
Okay.
Because like you say, Malcolm, his death was probably a conspiracy anyway because of who? Judge Joe Brown, another light-skinned dude. But you don't want to talk about that. But hey, Nathan, man, it's always a pleasure.
Yes,
today has been real.
Yes,
I had fun.
So am I.
I might give you the opportunity to talk to me next week.
I might give a damn about that. Might.
Oh!
All right. Thank you for the call. That's my brother Fane right there. Oh my God. He's like the little brother I didn't ever want. I'm the oldest of all my mother's children. Oldest 5 kids. I got 2 younger brothers. They act just like Fane. Think they know everything, always talking slick and greasy, always trying to catch me slipping. That's why I'm built for this. I've been doing this my whole life. You know how little brothers is. They always trying to knock big bro off his perch and prove big bro he's wrong and give big bro a hard time. They sound just like my biological brothers. Just talking ish for no reason. Carla writes, Carla Xavier did not deserve to win, big brother. Don't say that. Do not say that, sis. He did not. Oh, no, I'll take that back. Xavier did deserve to win. It wasn't Big D. I read that wrong. Xavier did deserve it. Right. Look at me. Right. I'm about to form Voltron on you. Right. Xavier did deserve it. Big D's his youngest son. Okay, right. Big D was, man, he was talking. He had that mouthpiece was working. Well, I deserve to win because I went to every HOH and I was working my game and and yeah, that's why. He was trying real hard, man. He need to find a job where the gift of gab is what pays him. Because he tapped into his superpower. It was hilarious, man. Eloise is in the house. Good morning, Eloise. She writes, good morning. Happy Friday. Clack writes, I'm glad we picked up on what was going on with Big Brother. That whole show is about sacrifice. And that maybe that's the issue with the community. Like, nobody want to sacrifice. Nobody want to be second so somebody else can be first and keep it in the culture and keep it in the family. Nobody want to do that. Most people don't want to do that. Most black men don't want to do that. Most black men got that alpha mentality. They want to be the dude. They want to be it. They want to be in the spot. They want to be the man. They want to be the boss. Okay? And they ain't trying to take no shorts for somebody else. And, maybe that's the biggest issue. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest thing for people to take from Big Brother because they sacrificed. Some of them, they could have got Xavier out earlier. They could have got him out earlier. They knew he was a threat, but he was a part of the cookout. And they was like, well, damn, somebody got to win. If it's not going to be me, I want to be somebody black. If we took that same attitude, I think if more people took that attitude, because there's a lot of folks that got that attitude in this city, I'll talk with them, and some don't. But if more people took that attitude, then perhaps, things would change a little faster. Kathy writes, good morning. Crystal writes, the TV show called Naked and Naked and Alone or something like that. Is that what it's called? I think I've seen some clips, never really tapped into it. Joe writes, I think that women do, especially when it's your boo. Do women make better business partners than men? You know, I think when you got a woman on the team and she got strong head game, like her mental is strong, she brings something that a man who even has a strong mental or head game doesn't bring to the table. Women just have something different. You know what I'm saying? Hard to put your finger on it. Darlene writes, yes, Big Brother was good this season. X deserved the win. Crystal writes, the lights look fine to me. Yeah, not to me, but it's okay. Ain't no biggie. Sakina writes, I am a woman business owner, and I'm going to be honest. Every time we do business with men, I can tell when they don't have women at admin staff. And most of the time I tell them they need a female perspective. Sakina that's right. That's right. She do her thing. That's right. Entrepreneur. Yeah, I just came across this interview. I just saw it again. It was earlier this week, this interview with Dame Dash, and he went all over the place. It was an interview when he went to Envy and told him he's not a boss. He told the whole Breakfast Club at the Breakfast Club, they ain't the boss. They're not real bosses because their boss can come in at every time and make them leave, which is true. No matter how much money or influence you have, if somebody else can walk in and make you leave, or I think the point he made was, if you can't give your son or your daughter a job because you say so, then you're not a boss. That's what he was trying to say. So it was interesting. But one point he made was about basically the difference between working with men and women, right? Like having men and women on your staff. And I want to get your thoughts. And I started thinking about Black Panther because the Dora Mijolie was all women. Now, of course, we're mixing real world with fantasy because the Dora Mijolie was the private security force for Black Panther. But why is that? I mean, we're talking about mythology and comic books. I know, but it's Friday, so let's change it up a little bit. But there's a reason why the Dora Mijolie were all women. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. I've worked with women. I work with men. Any team I ever build would always be heavy with women on it. Always. Because women just bring something different to the table in a lot of different ways. And maybe it's the lack of testosterone, but it's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. And of course, it all depends on the individual as well, because you can get some women out there that you don't want on your team at all. But, assuming the mind game is straight, on point, bet on Black women, period. Did it work for Black Panther? Y'all know y'all love that part in that movie. Everybody's seen that movie. You know you love the part when the Dora Mijolie came out. You know what I'm saying? They play no games for Black Panther. And, if you get a loyal woman on your team, she'll run through a brick wall. I think that's why they say, and again, this is why the good book, the Bible, take it for whatever it means, says that he who finds a wife, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. And that's true. Because if your wife is your partner, she's going to lift you to places that you can't get there by yourself. 100%. 100%. I was watching this video, one of my favorite videos on YouTube, one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's a younger dude, man. He's like in his mid-20s, and he does a YouTube channel. And he was recently on a podcast hosted by these two brothers, and he was talking about the formulas for his success. And he talked about his wife and, what his wife brings to the table. And everything that he said rings true to me. Everything that he said rings 100% true to me. 100% true. It's just something about whether it's the woman in your life, your wife, whatever, and she takes a 100% investment in what you're doing. It's just something about that you can't get any other place. You can't get that from a man. I'm not saying that I would ever not work with men, because I work with men too. I've worked with men on different levels. I have no problem with it, but there's just something, I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it. Maybe you can help me with it. 513-873-7134. Nikki Rice Fame on some ish this morning. Yes, he was. Danita Rice Fame messed me up and showed me the true fame. He was one of the refs at Trey's game on Sunday. Called a great game and was a really nice guy. The highlight for me was seeing him run up the sideline following a play that was a TD. Fame got wheels. Yeah, do we? I'm not keep telling you, Fame is a spectacular brother. That's why I F with him, man. That's my brother right there. He definitely on point. He crazy as hell. But you always got somebody crazy in the family. You need that. You know what I'm saying? Maurice writes, one of my cousins worked for the census, and people, as I stated, classify themselves as white. This woman had been using the misnomers. An African-American black child mix wanted her child to be classified as white, even though the child was light brown. Omar's in the house. He writes, the alt-middle OG is spitting. He was right about Colin K, and he is right about this. Oh, my God. Get a saddle. You're going to be doing all that riding. Damn it. Get a damn saddle, man. Protect yourself, Omar. It's going to be a long ride. It's going to get painful for you. He was not right about Colin Kaepernick. That's just his opinion. And his facts is all goofy. Colin Kaepernick was doing a silent protest. He never went to the media after the death, I think of it was of Michael Brown. It's either Michael Brown or the young boy that got killed here in Ohio. All right. He basically wrote something on his shoes and or his socks. Didn't say a word about it. The media came to him and asked him about it. Kept asking him about it. So he answered. And the rest, as we know, is history. You know what I'm saying? The NFL showed their true colors. But that doesn't matter anymore because look at this halftime show. Snoop Dogg's coming. Now, he might be right about what he said about Snoop Dogg, man. This man, Snoop Dogg, everybody be talking about, man, look, Snoop Dogg has been relevant for 3 decades. This man has been in the limelight for years and years and years, dodging all kind of bullets. Almost went to jail because a brother got killed when Snoop and his bodyguards was involved. Almost went to jail for that. Now, look at this. That's iconic right there, and I'm glad he got a sister in there. The only way this could have been better, and I hate to say this, is if it was Beyonce. That's the only way it could have. I mean, if it was Beyonce, you just take it to a whole nother charts. Not saying nothing negative about Mary J at all. Not saying nothing negative about Mary J, but Beyonce just would have just took it to a whole nother level. But this is cool. You got a little something everything. You got the millennials. They got Kendrick. You got the white male rap lovers. You know what I'm saying? Minus MGK's fans. You got Eminem. You got Dr. Dre, iconic hip hop producer. You got Mary J, the Queen of Soul. The Queen of Soul. Or was that Aretha Franklin? The Queen of R&B. And you got Snoop with his sunglasses and his hoodie, man. And Snoop gonna drop it like it's hard. Drop it. Yeah. Bump the other ninjas because I'm down for my ninjas. What? You gonna hear that? Bump the other ninjas because I'm down for my ninjas. What? Bump the other ninjas because I'm down for my ninjas. Get ready for it, man. How the hell is Snoop maintained this relevancy over 3 decades, yo? It's the Chronic. Smoking weed, you know, doing fun music, you know, being your big uncle that comes over and brings the party, gets the party started. That's it. Let me see. What? Bunky writes, so what up, Nate and the Choppers? Hit the like button. Good morning to you. Good morning. Brenda's in the house. Crystal Wainwright. Wheelwright writes, man, don't nobody, especially me, want to see they nasty bodies running around and bending over. What are we talking about? Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people on the others too. Good morning to you. Is this a self-observation? He described himself. Oh, man. This is hilarious. That's crazy. Sakina writes, this caller is zoning me out. He's 50, so he can't wear sunglasses and a hoodie? The 50-year-old created hip-hop culture, so now he's older and he has to wear different clothes? Hush, child, right. Hush. Right. He helped create the culture. Now he can't embody the culture. That's his opinion. He has no clue what the F he's talking about. Nikki writes, Jesus, lay hands on this fool. Speaking of which, Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. There it is. I'm in. Jericho writes, Nate, you spoke about a professional relationship that went sour after you made a comment about interracial relationship. What did you say? You spoke about a professional relationship that went sour after you made a comment about interracial relationship. I'm not sure what I said exactly. I said that this morning. Yeah, I was talking about, I remember something else. So, yeah, I was just talking about how some people take this so seriously and how I take this seriously as it relates to my audience. So I'm very protective of our audience in a lot of different ways. And so there was a female friend, I won't put her name out there. So y'all know Sherry Saunders, right? It's been a minute since she came on. Black female. She used to come on like on a regular basis, several times a year, like 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year. We talk about movies and films and all that kind of stuff because I've always been into pop culture, and she was too. And so we've all kind of grown up as reality television has evolved, and so we've talked about the evolution and what that means for the culture and society and things. I love those kind of conversations, especially when it's relevant and we can, learn something new. But before I worked with her, I was working with another female, and she was super dope, very attractive, super on point. She was based in California, so she was going to the red carpet events, and through her I was getting access to things I just didn't have before. And we became cool, professionally. We never sat around and talked on the phone a whole lot. We did a few times. And then I was introduced to a woman named something Karmazine, Crystal Karmazine, something like that. And she is the founder of a website called Swirling. And it was all about Black women dating white dudes. And she was working real hard to tell Black women, like, look, there's something new for you, which I have no problem with it. But in one of our interviews, she went to the point where she was like criticizing Black men and like Black men are the reason why. And I just couldn't have it. I had to put my foot down on it. And my friend was also swirling. And she caught feelings about that. And we started talking. It was something she said goofy about the audience and Black men. It wasn't good. It wasn't good because you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect Black men. I'm a Black man. I'm not having that. We ain't doing that. And so it just didn't go well. That's what I was talking about. It just didn't go well. And that happens though. People come in your life for different seasons. You don't go through the finish line with everybody. That's just the nature of it. But I was making a point a few days ago, but I think that's what you were talking about. The NFL and Roger Goodell admitted Kaepernick was right all along. They certainly did. So, anybody that's still out here criticizing Kaepernick, they just don't know what they're talking about. Roger Goodell himself said that they should have listened to Kaepernick and that they reflexively tried to just do what they always do when a brother stood up. And they just put him to the sideline and blackballed him and pushed him out the league. Roger Goodell admitted that. So Kaepernick was right. And the only point I was trying to make is that you got some people out there that's been holding out to go back to the NFL. And I wonder if this halftime show is going to bring them back. So, it can't be too bad now. Oh, man, my people's, man. Just keep us dancing, stop us from thinking. Keep us dancing, stop us from thinking. You sure he's 5'6"? He's somewhere around there. He's about 5'7", 5'8", maybe 5'7". Susan writes, you better put some respect on Dr. King's name. He ain't here disrespecting Dr. King. Oh, my God. Maurice writes, I have a mask and shirt that says, I can't breathe. I have had misnomers, African Americans, Black say, take off your mask. I have to enlighten them by saying, this is what a lot of brothers said that was murdered at the hands of racist white folks. Oh, that's funny. Janice writes, he insulted himself. He is saying the light-skinned dudes are less fearful. Yeah, Fame was all over the place. Brenda writes, Fame want to be starting something. Yeah, dumb-ish, exactly, dumb-ish. The little brother, you never wanted, right? The little brother I never wanted. I got 2 little brothers now that was knuckleheads. I had to get them in line coming up, and they still knuckleheads. And now I got a new knucklehead little brother, Fame. But that's okay, though, man. I got arms that big enough to hug everybody. Come on in here, buddy. Come on in here. Come on here, Fame. James writes, good morning. Brenda writes, Fame, if you can read this, stop the dumb-ish. I know that's right. Bunky writes, Nate, I love when women have a strong head game. See, I knew you was going to put your mind in the gutter. Stop it. Oh, boy. Maurice writes, I see a lot of sisters out here doing their thing. They are getting that money. I love it. You see a lot of sisters out here doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? What was they saying? The sisters was getting educated. They was getting them college degrees, graduating, out here living their best life, trying to make it happen. And I think there's a difference between men and women across the board. But yeah, absolutely. James writes, women always make a better business partner. And that writes, women are typically more detail oriented. Maurice writes, there was real warrior queens like them. I think that's why they got the idea from. Susan writes, I'm sure it depends on who you are. As a woman, if you believe in your vision, direction, as well as your leadership style, we will go harder in the paint than a man will ever for a man, let alone for a woman, without a doubt. Correct, Amundo. I've been waiting for somebody to say it. That's what I observe. A woman, if you get a woman on your team and she believe in you, she'll run through a brick wall for you. She'll run through 10 brick walls. Check it. Ain't shit gonna stop her, period. Ain't nothing gonna stop her. If she believes in you, if she buys in. And I'm talking about black women. You get a black woman on your team and she believe on you, she'll shoot you away. She'll shoot you to a trajectory, into a spaces you can never go by yourself. That's the reason why the Bible says, he who finds and I'm not a big Bible person. I ain't trying to preach to you. You know, I'm not that dude. I got my problems with that religion and that book. You already know. But let's, for the sake of conversation, it's a reference point. And that's what a woman can bring to your life as a wife. That's what a woman can bring to your life as a wife. Holla if you hear me. Any black men out here married to black women and she your partner, she'll kill for you. She'll let a motherfucker on fire for you. She'll do whatever it takes for the team. And in some cases, way more than a man, because, you know, I think, like Dame Dash said in that interview, you know, men got that testosterone. I'm not against working with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I work with men now, so I'm speaking very generally, because I know some brothers that's super dope. Super dope. You just click with them. But generally speaking, let me make this point. And are there any men out there that are married and your wife is involved in what you do? She's like your partner. She pushes you. Tell me what you think. What I have found is you can't put a dollar amount to what a strong, intelligent black woman can bring to the team. There's no dollar amount for that. There you can't put a dollar there. I can't even quantify what that would be. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I've seen. Bunky writes, black women gave us Biden. I'm cool. See, there you go. There you go. There you go. Tamara writes facts. Hey, good morning, Shannon. Good to see you. She writes, depends on the original dynamic and culture of the company. Women and men are each supposed to bring a certain approach. However, when you bring a woman to male-dominated environment, many times they feel pressured to code switch or assimilate to a male culture. The same is true for the reverse. I think I understand what you're saying. Good morning to you. Charles writes, Grand Risings, name the choppers. James writes, men just don't want to listen or compromise their pride for the sake of another. Women will do it just to see where your pride takes you. Yeah, see, man, we got that pride ego thing that messes up a whole lot. It can mess up a whole lot. Most definitely. Brittany's in the house. She writes, Nate, do you feel it's LeBron James' responsibility to promote vaccines? I think it's LeBron James' responsibility to promote vaccines. I would say yes and no. So it really depends on LeBron. So if LeBron James in his heart and with every fiber of his being believes that vaccines are the right way to go, because of his platform, I do believe that if that's how he feels, that he has a responsibility to always push humanity. And with LeBron James, we can't just say the culture. We got to say humanity, because the man has 99 million Instagram followers. You know, LeBron James is global. So he speaks to humanity. He speaks way beyond the borders of Cleveland and way beyond the borders of black folks. He speaks to humanity. So if he feels as if in his heart, and he's done the research that leads him to believe that vaccines are what's best for humanity, then yes, I believe he has a responsibility to always promote what's best for humanity that's in line with his beliefs, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a crisis of humanity, right? This pandemic, this could wipe out humanity. And when you got 100 million, 400 million combined followers on all your social media, yeah, I think you have a responsibility to always promote the positivity and push humanity in the right directions. Hopefully that answers your question. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, brother. Good morning. Good morning. I want to get your thoughts. When is the media gonna start covering the fights at the Bengal games like they covered the fights at Kings Island? Huh? What's up, DeAndre? It was fights at the Bengal game, huh? Was it white folks behaving badly, and you're saying the media don't really cover it the same way? It would be impolite, or hey, let's cover the win and not the stuff that goes on at the game. I feel you. Again, I didn't know there were any fights there, so let me see where we at here. People saying they didn't see any fights. Kev on the cell writes, good morning, fam. Today makes yesterday's pale in comparison in terms of your opportunity to make a positive move. You can reflect on yesterday and make even better decisions. Let's go. Let's go. I'm with you. Maurice writes hip hop soul. It reminds me, somebody posted, I think it was Anthony. Props to Anthony and all the people that post and the friends who like the Nathan Ivy Show page. I appreciate you. You help keep it up to date. But somebody posted that Donnie Simpson is bringing back Video Soul. Bringing back Video Soul, right? That's of this particular generation, our audience right here. I think so. Now, Video Soul, if you don't know, it was on BET, Black Entertainment Television. And I mean, it ended 25 years ago. And basically it was a music video program with interviews. And the interviews would be conducted by Donnie Simpson. Now, there's been a lot of shows like that. You know, think about 106 in Park, BET. Think about TRL, with Carson Daly, I think it was. TRL, that was huge on MTV. And you have this studio audience, and they review and count down videos and things like that. And somebody was like, they didn't think it would work because the video watching culture has changed. Well, yes and no. It depends. Like, look at the success of the show that DJ Academics was on, Everyday Struggle. I mean, they talked about music and mixed in, the latest music videos and things like that. Listen, there's always going to be a market there's always going to be a visibility and platforms for people that are into celebrity culture, because that's what people are into. It's a distraction. People like to get into that kind of stuff. There's always going to be an audience for that. Always, always, always. So Donnie Simpson, if it's going to work today, he can't just do old school. He's going to have to talk about new artists and old school artists as well. And then, he was always good with interviews and stuff. I saw the video clip. It looks super nice. I could find it for you if you want me to. Yeah, I can find it and play it for you. It looks cool. It looks like they got a whole bunch of episodes in the can. So they've been doing this for some time now. So I think it'll be dope. I'll watch it. I'll tap into a little bit. We'll see what happens. Yeah, why not? Donnie Simpson announces the return of Video Soul 25 years after it ends. Let me see if I can find this for you. Okay. I got to go to Donnie Simpson's Twitter page. Yeah, it's going to be on Tubi, Tubi, which I'm not sure if I have. Yeah, he's bringing it back. That's nice. That's nice. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I got it for you. Hold on one second here. I'll play the promo for you, and you tell me what you think. I mean, this is from this audience. I think people in this audience is consistent with your era. Y'all know who Donnie Simpson is. There it is. There it is.
This is just what the coach.
This is Tashina Arnold, and guess what? Donnie's back. Ooh, but don't look in his eyes. Donnie is back.
My brother is back. My brother is back.
We're bringing the soul back to the culture.
I put on my best cologne for your show, man. This is Casey, and guess what? Donnie is back.
Welcome back, Donnie. Welcome back, Donnie. We're so excited.
This is just what the culture needs. That's what you got going on, baby. Yeah, you back. Video Soul, it's official.
Yeah, I think it'll work. And for what I'm seeing there, they got a nice little mixture of audiences. You know what I'm saying? You got some new school and old school artists. That's what it's going to have to take. It just can't just be old school artists. Nah, you got to bring some of the contemporary artists in as well. They're just as legitimate to hip hop culture. I know people should be like, oh, the old school artists matter more. No, they do not. You can't talk about hip hop and not talk about contemporary artists. They are just as relevant, even more relevant than the old school artists that we grew up in. And quite honestly, it's so much great music out there, man. It's a lot of dope MCs that I really, really, really enjoy. Let me see. Nate Wheelwright, you writes Wheelwright. I am sorry, Crystal. I am so sorry. Wheelwright. I will get it right. I don't know why I want to keep saying Wainwright. I don't know why. I am so sorry. Wheelwright. I got it. Get it in your damn head. Bunky writes, James, you kissing a lot of ass this morning. What? Damn. We doing that out here? What? Damn. Wheelwright. Let's see. What? Janice writes, fame, I want to live forever. Something like that. Sean writes, good morning, King Nate and the Mighty Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Come on in here. Proverbs 18:12, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Yeah, if you listen to her, especially if it's a black woman, if you listen to her and absorb what she has to give, it'll make your life so much better. Bunky writes, is National Kiss Women's Ass today? What? No, Bunky, with your misogynistic ass. No. Oh my God. Jericho's right. It's okay to praise women without stroking the man's ego. You're right about that. Jack writes, let a divorce happen. You put a dollar amount on it. I know that's right. Sakina writes, yes, thank you so much, Nathan Ivy, speaking highly of black women and what we can bring to the table for our black man we believe in. Thank you for speaking highly of us on business, especially speaking highly of black wives. I need to hear that today, and I'm not even a wife. Oh, absolutely. Ain't no doubt about it. Told you, my wife didn't stop me from doing the dumbest stuff ever. Just her presence, but her wisdom, her words. Ain't nobody perfect. She ain't perfect. Nobody. I'm not perfect, but it can't be understood. And again, one of my favorite YouTube channels is run by this dude. He's like in his mid-20s. One of my favorite channels. Very successful, millions of views and selling all kind of products. And I most recently saw an interview he did, and I just caught up to it a few months ago. He did it a few months ago. I just caught up to it the last couple of weeks. And he was asked about the influence of his wife and his business and his abilities and his trajectory. And he kept it 100. And as I listened to him, I'm like, aha, I see it. I see it. My wife is the first. Listen, her hand is in everything. You know, she's the first person I turn to every single day with every single idea. I've just learned. Let me run it through her and see what she say. Right. And if she says, okay, it's okay. Because this brain right here, you're looking at the black man that got all kind of crazy ass thoughts. And it needs a filter. It needs a black female filter. Because if not, I'll be doing the crazy and saying the craziest shit you could ever imagine. Bunky writes, LeBron is bug broken. I don't think LeBron is bug broken. I don't think so. Dante writes, get to the choppers, man. A man after my own heart. Let's get to the damn choppers. That's it. Marisha writes, good morning. Rap City's coming back too, Big Tigger. Yeah, why not? Why not? Because you got older people, you got people from the hip-hop generation that's in their 40s, 50s, right? And then when you match in, you take that old school element formula that used to work back in the day, you just apply it and update it with new artists, boom, it's gotta win. And so I'm glad. I'm not sure how much. I used to like Everyday Struggle because it was more of an opinion-based show. But those kind of shows I think can work in today's media as well. Why not? Heck no, LeBron doesn't have the responsibility to push no vaccine. Does he have a medical background? It's your choice. By the way, if you are taking your medical guidance from athletes, celebrities, etc., you may want to reevaluate your decisions. I feel you on that, Jericho, but let's be real here. LeBron James can reach people that the medical doctors cannot reach. LeBron James can reach people that other people just can't reach. He's got an influence on humanity. So I stand by what I said. I believe it depends on him. If he thinks, I think when you got a platform that big, you should always be trying to push humanity in a more enlightened and more positive direction because you got so much influence. Not to say you can't make your money and do you, but you got so many people watching you. You got to represent in a positive light. So if he believes that the way to deal with the pandemic, in his personal belief, based with hopefully medical science, is the best thing to do, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Just is this, I feel the same way. Like if he believes that the vaccine is wrong, that they're putting something in vaccines that will harm people, then he should speak up about that. Jay writes, check your inbox. I just sent you a fight from last night. Okay. Damn, from the Bengal game? What the fuck? Let me see this, yo. Was you at the game? How many people went to the game here? That's very important to know that, you know what I'm saying? Because advertisers want to know the buying potential of your audience. They want to know, oh, word, we doing the whole fight, huh? Okay. Damn, hold on. Damn, okay, let me put this on the screen here. We got whole fights happening. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll put it on the screen here. Give me a second. Jay just sent me something. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me see if I can play it now. Not sure. Something just happened. Okay. Okay, hold on 1 second. What? What? I hear some instigating going on. It's always an instigator. Oh, boy. Damn. Check this out.
Still on him, bro. This some old Jake Paul shit. Get him, bro. Get him, bro. Get his ass. Represent, bro. Represent Cincinnati. Ooh. Yeah. Fuck out of here. Yeah.
Knock the fuck out, boy.
Who that? Hey!
What's wrong with us, man? What is wrong with us, yo? What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God. I'm here for the drama though. I'm here for a good fight video. You already know, as long as it involves no kids or nothing like that, I'm cool with it. Grown folks get what grown folks get. Not gonna sit around holding your hand because you did something dumb. Damn, dude got knocked out or knocked down at least. Damn. Well, it happens in a big city. Who knows what happened? Damn. Dale writes, now MTV, BET are owned by CPS Viacom. Yeah, the Jewish people, the Jewish media mafia. I don't say that in a negative way. I say it in a positive way. But the Jewish media mafia owns BET. The folks over, what's that, the Sumner Redstone and his family own Viacom. Them the same folks that sat Nick Cannon down when he said that stuff about Jewish folks. It was like, hold on, bro. We cut the checks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't matter if we write rhymes, we write checks. They hit him with that P. Diddy and sat his ass down. They own Wild and Out big time. So it is what it is. But these days, people creating a whole new platforms and channels and shit. And I mean, look what we doing here locally with CDM and live series, and it's all kind of folks doing that kind of stuff, man. Roland's doing stuff. You got the Black News Channel. You know, people got all kind of podcast networks out here. So, I mean, these days people can kind of do what they want to do. So I love it. Mrs. Love being black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful, smart choppers. Good morning to you. Nakia writes, Tubi is a free channel. Is it? Okay. I probably have it because I got a Fire Stick. It's got all kind of stuff on there. I just don't think I've ever watched it before. Tracy writes, I have the Tubi app. It's cool. Great. I love it. I mean, think about where we are right now. Like, I remember, this is such a beautiful time to be in the media. It is a beautiful time to be in the media. So let me talk about the media just a little bit. I know I'm all over the place. It's a Friday. I got a couple of running themes like, do women make better business partners than men? From a male perspective, if you're building a team, how important is you to have women, and in particular, black women on the team? You know, having worked with black women, I'm just saying, you get something different from a black woman. Being married to a black woman, you get something different from a woman And I don't have any experience being with white women, so I can only say with a black woman, okay? And it is unique. And what I have found is I can understand why Black Panther, the Dora Mijaili, is only made of black women. Some might even say that black women are more loyal than men are when terms of being partners, that a black woman will go harder than a man will. Let's just back up. A woman in general, is this true or false, this statement? A woman will go harder for you than a man, speaking from a male perspective, if she believes in your vision and believes in where you're trying to go. Is that true or false? 513-873-7134. To me, it's 100% true. It's 100% true. In what I have seen and in my observations in my short time on this earth. But I want to know what you think. Crystal writes, cool, I'll watch it. Daryl writes, again, how are you going to have a black-facing channel not owned by us without news? Don't fall for it. I like Donnie Simpson, but we need informative shows about our issues. I hear you, Daryl, but informative shows about issues is boring as hell. It's just boring. You know what I'm saying? There's a place for it, but it's boring. Sometimes I want to know, I want to hear some stuff about the, about the media and stuff like that. Oh, okay, we got people on the line. We got John from Prince on the line. Let me go to John. Hey, good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Before we, get to your loaded question, do women make good business partners over men? And that's really a loaded question, but we'll chime into it. Before we do that, let's recap on damn, his name went right out of my head. The character, the singer that had all the press and the molesting of
R. Kelly. Your boy R. Kelly.
Wow, his name went right out of my head. Wow. Yeah. Let's recap. Yes. For all those choppers, I'm not trying to protect R. Kelly. I'm not a fan of his. I think every record he created to me sound the same to me. I didn't really like him too much. But some people like that style of music, and that's fine. But to me, it all sounds the same. But to get to his, forget it. They're locking him up for the rest of his life, and he's got multiple other lawsuits coming down the pipeline. He will never get out of jail. Now let's go back and forth for Mr. Nathan Ivey on this, because I like to hear your perspective on the amount of charges, or let's get to the lockup that he's going to get. But I think it's a bigger picture that not too many people were talking about, which is, yes, he's guilty of all charges and he should be locked up. But what about the people around him? All the cretins around him that was collecting the check, that knew he was doing the dirty stuff, that was bringing the young boys and young girls, and that was driving down with the limousine, picking up people on, what about the people around him? You're going to tell me nobody in his camp knew he was doing this for years and stayed quiet because they were getting that cozy little check of his? You mean the prosecutor couldn't find could not go after other people involved? There is other people involved, and they're going to let them skate. They wanted to get him. He's the predator. But the other twist side is, look at Bill Cosby. Look at what they thought they were going to do. But Bill Cosby had a good lawyer. He got the money, and Bill Cosby was able to escape certain things. And he's out. And he's, living. I mean, that guy's 80-something years old. He's not going to be around too long. But they wanted Bill Cosby's empire, that billions of dollars that he has. That's the difference. But Bill Cosby can get the press, and this other cretin can get the other sentence. But I'd like to hear your quick chime before we get into your topic. What do you think about the excessive lifetime penalty that R. Kelly is going to get?
I don't think it's excessive. If he gets life and they lock his ass up for the rest of his natural life, then so what? He gets what he deserves.
Okay, that's a quick one. Wow, I thought you would expand on that some more, but I agree with that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but my problem is, how can R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and allegedly other black celebrities or not celebrities get charged with stiffer penalties. And that cretin that just left the White House, yeah, that Trump, the assassin, that nut, that calling women out their names, the touching them on their butts. Oh, are you saying to me, Mr. Nathan Ivey, oh, it's two sets of laws. Cosby and Bill Clinton and all these other characters can break laws, and it's okay with everybody. It's okay. Well, it's not okay with me. Do you think Trump should go down in the flame of hell too? Or should we let him skate and go along and create more devastation coming down the pipeline?
I think that if they find that Trump has done anything illegal, he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of law. And if he goes to jail, so be it.
Well, that's another short response I got for you. I thought you would expand more on the Trump story. Come on, everybody saw Trump for 4 years.
He's out of office now, so I try not to talk about him too much. He's irrelevant to me. But if he ends up going to jail or going down on some charges, so what? He gets what he deserves.
Well, okay, let's move on to your topic, but I don't think he is irrelevant after we saw what happened on January the 6th.
True.
And after we saw what he's done for 6 years, and I predicted this stuff was coming down the pipeline.
But you also didn't vote, John. Don't go there with me, John. That's a sensitive conversation between the two of us because you talk all this jazz about Trump, but then your ass went in there and voted, put Zorro's name in there. I'm still pissed about that.
That was past elections. Okay,
I'm just saying, you've been talking about Trump and all these elections, but you ain't never voting.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did vote. Stop it. Come on.
You didn't vote. When did you vote, John?
Don't brainwash your Trumps, your choppers out there. I did vote.
When did you vote? By putting Zorro in there, you invalidated your ballot.
No, that's not true. I voted. I told you I was going to vote. I registered. Yes, I did. I sent you the paperwork. You saw that. I was there at the polling stations. Come on. I voted.
John,
I voted.
You didn't vote because you voted for Zorro. Zorro wasn't even a candidate. You wasted your time.
Who you vote for is your choice. Now let's move on because I don't want you to click me off real fast because I know it's a sensitive subject to you, but not sensitive to me. Okay, let's get to your topic at hand. You talked about if you're in business, who would hold the top of the ladder in a business, a woman or a man? Well, I think you've answered it early on. I'm more comfortable with a woman. Most men tend to skate. They don't tell you the truth where they're sitting down or what element of the business they are doing. But a woman would be more open to dealing with business if they know you're on top of your game and you know what you're doing. Most women in the past that I dealt with are very open and they will not skate. Whereas men tend to think they're, how should I put them? They're dancing around what they want to do and they have no trust. And there lies, if you're focusing on the black community and the black business, I've found in the past, and you'll see it in my book that's coming out next year, The Chickens Have Come Home to Roost. I was giving you a little tip. In a couple of episodes, I talk about the black business and the black leadership. Over the years, I find there is no trust. All lip service. Oh, come to my conference. I'm having a conference. Okay, I'll tip you off. Trump's Jesse Jackson, Sharpton. Come to my conference. Photo ops, business cards. Well, we're not going to help you. You're on your own. Oh, yeah, I do talk about it. It's coming out. But overall, I find women tend to be a lot more frank, a lot more open. They'll tell you straight up, either they're going to deal with you or they're not going to deal with you. And you may get a 10% of those women, 10 out of 100, that will play the game too. But I would say 90% of the women out there on the business level will tell you straight up, oh, you need to take your portfolio, go clean it up. You got to fix certain things. You're not crying. You're not ready for prime time yet. So that's my spin on that. And I'll end with this, Mr. Nathan Ivey. I watched that Cincinnati game last night.
Yes.
I thought they were going to blow it. I thought they were going to blow that game, but I was chiming in for them, and they got that offensive line you got is very good, very good. I was talking to my cousin as we were watching the game. He lives in Cleveland, and I said, "Don't you guys got to play? Cleveland's got to play Cincinnati twice." He said, "Yeah, I know we're watching them, man." I said, "That line and that young quarterback Finally, you got a good quarterback. You need to tighten up on that defense a little bit because you allow this team that's 0-3 to just race down the field a couple of times. You got to correct that, and that's a defensive quarterback. So enough for me, Mr. Nathan Ivy. You have a nice day.
Thank you
And
for the call.
remember, Zorro can always come back.
This is that. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. There it is. All right, I'm good. That man is so infuriating. That man is infuriating. Listen, pump the brakes, Bengal fans. You just beat a team that's 0-4. The Jags are trash. Like those uniforms, though. Like those unis, but the Jags are trash. The Bengals unis are looking better. I want an all-black helmet. With white stripes, with orange little flecks in there. When the Bengals get that all-black helmet, that shit gonna look so smooth. Watch. Black jerseys, right? White stripes with orange flecks in it. Black helmet that matches the jersey is gonna be the dopest thing ever. You heard it here first. All right, let's go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
What up, Kev? On the cell?
Trying to make it, man. I'm making it. It's Friday. It's a great day. Look outside, man. It's beautiful. Beautiful day. It's a great day to be a Bengal fan and everything. Who they? And for all those that say I shouldn't be repping or whatever, go somewhere. Hey, so two things, man. Number one, your helmet's almost perfect, but I'm with a gray, like an off gray orange, right? Stripe. The black helmet and that, they got that like that camo colored where you can see the color that's underneath it, but it's kind of covered up. Like that'd be super dope.
I'm with you on the gray. You're right about that. Would be super dope. That would be dope. You're right about that.
Hey, so look, I know today is fun Friday. I'll leave my last comments for last. So here's the deal, man. I disagree with you, Nate. I think that number one, you should surround yourself with people that got your back. And if you surround yourself with people that don't got your back, you need to get away from those people. Change the people around you if you can't change the people around you, bro. But I've got some brothers, man, that got my back. Now I got some other brothers, what I'm saying, that I love. We grew up together, but I don't tell them nothing. I don't tell them nothing about my life. I don't tell them nothing about. We don't really talk very often. When we do talk, we kind of reminisce about the past. But I know those folks. They are who they are. They're gonna do what they do, and they're gonna say what they say. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they ain't stopped loving them, but we don't. They're not on that level. But I got some folks who they are real ones, man. They're not quote unquote day ones. They real ones, and these guys, I know they got my back. If anything go down, they got my back. And I know men who back their women. You know what I'm saying? The same way you're saying women back their men. I know men who are like, I will bring down heaven and earth. I will bring together heaven and earth to make sure your dreams come true. So no, I disagree that, that's a real general statement. I get it. Maybe you might be saying for the most part, and I can understand that, I guess. But there are plenty of people, me being one of them, they're going to rock for you, period. I'm telling you for my own, man. If it mean I got to die in these streets, then I'm going to die in these streets. But the folks that I love, you going, period. There's no stopping. And whatever I can do to push you to get there, I'm going to do that. And that's all there is to it. So I can't speak for other people's experiences. I'm only speaking for my own. I'll be honest. I do think that there's a misnomer out there, this whole thing about men aren't approachable and all this other stuff. That's not true either. There are plenty good men out there that will have your back. And there are plenty bad men and women out there, bruh, who really, if we being honest, are kind of like cancer, and you should just stay away from them. They're just not good people. They don't rock. I'm sure that you rock for your wife the same way she rocks for you, and that's me making an assumption. But I'm sure that is true. I believe that to be true. Um, I'm gonna finish up here. Y'all know that Monday is the last day to register, so that's got to be said. John Zorro still ain't on the ballot, and no, he ain't making no comebacks. He's a fictional character, kind of like the person that, in my opinion, you helped to put into the position of the president by not voting when you had the opportunity, because he's a fictional character too, just like Zorro. So, in fact, the person you voted for, the fictional character, did win, right? Take 3 people with you to the polls. Make sure that you sign up. I checked, Nathan, I checked my status. I am eligible to vote. I am signed up to vote. I'm going to vote. But that's another thing too, because I did get a notice in the mail that said, if you haven't checked if you've moved, which I own a couple properties, and so they mistook that for I moved and tried to say, hey, you're gonna either vote at this place or you'll be voting with absentee ballot or a provisional ballot. So make sure that that's something that you check out for everyone. You could go online. I don't have the website with me.
I got the website up right now.
You definitely, my man. That's what I'm talking about. So we want to make sure that people engage, man. And all this BS that they telling you about how your vote don't matter and don't nobody care. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. In many places in the world, the way you have changes is one government replaces the other government, usually by armed insurrection. And here we vote, and it's a much better plan, I think. It's a peaceful transfer of power, and so we want to make sure that we're represented. And if you don't do that, then whatever you get, just sit back and bellyache to yourself, because really the rest of us don't want to hear it. Nate, it's Friday, bruh. Who day? It's Friday. It's my day. All day, baby. That's right. We won on national television on a Thursday night. I don't even know when the last time that happened was. We finally getting some traction. And it's still not a distraction. We got to still do what we got to do, and business has to be done. But if you rock with me, I rock with you. Choppers support choppers, and I disagree with the host. Men support women just as strongly as women support men. Be blessed, brother. Stay safe.
All right. Hey, Kevin on the cell, appreciate the call, man. Let me change the questions a little bit. Are men, like, in terms of like building a team, are women more loyal than men? And I gotta preface it because if a woman like believes in you and buys into what you got going on, I believe she'll go harder than a man will. That's just my thoughts. Am I right? Am I wrong? I want to get your opinion about it. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts. Now, you might not want to share your thoughts. You might be like, I'm busy. This your show, Mr. Talk Show host. You do you. We got you. We got this. But I want to invite you into the show. Good morning to you. David writes, John, stop with the Sandlot Mafia voice. Sandlot Mafias? TC writes, women are more detailed sometimes. Are women more loyal? Women more loyal. Crystal Wheelwright writes, wow, Zorro. Yeah, this man wrote Zorro in back when Trump was going against Hillary Clinton. This mofo wrote Zorro's name in. It took me years for him to even go to just getting on his ass every show, every call, because he wouldn't vote. He finally votes, and instead of writing the name of a proper candidate, this wrote Zorro's name in. That's why he'd be like, shh, 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 like making a Zorro sounds, and Zorro was kind of like, if you don't know, he was like a hero, and he's kind of like the Hispanic version of Lone Ranger or something like that. Hope I'm not disrespecting anybody. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, dear brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Sister Iris, welcome.
Hey, thank you. So anything about Black women on top of being good, yes, we are. We rock. All that good stuff. And this is coming from a sister whose husband runs the business. So I think it's all about the individual understanding goals, what you're willing to sacrifice for. So I just want to say that I think black men and black women are equally as great and as jacked up at times. I just wanted to say again to you, Send Digital Media, for your professional work in hosting these forums and your daily show. It is invaluable. And I hope that people are still paying attention to folks who are running for the city council. Last night, it wasn't eventful, but hopefully people gleaned something from individuals who are asking for the votes, your vote to be on your council, to run your city, to spend your tax dollars, to write legislation that will impact your life, your children's life, and possibly your grandchildren's life. But I intentionally did some things, Mr. Ivy. I think one you pointed out when talking with Ms. Castile about language around the civil unrest. Riot is a legal language. It is used for carceral punishment and insurance. Um, and when the people who believe that their voices aren't heard and can't get any impact on systems and how they're being treated, this is what they do. They hit the streets. So I wanted to make sure that she was clear about that. One of the things that you and I and many others can look back and watch how people rewrite history and insert their language. The other thing is around the collaborative, as I've said here, that people love to talk about it, but they forget where it came from and how we got to this particular juncture. And it was because of Black people. And I don't want us to ever forget that. That document is what it is. The fight was what it was because we let it. We were intentional about it, and the results were what we had seen in other cities, and we knew we wanted something different from Cincinnati. So, I want to make sure people keep that in the front of their minds. The other thing that I think was critical was that, as I said to Kevin Flynn, you were on council when some of these things didn't happen. What happened? Some of the things when people talk about fully funding the collaborative, some of this work is about policy. Dollar. It's about enacting and writing a policy, sitting down, having the solicitor's office sit with the attorneys of the Black United Front, the attorneys of the police, and getting at policies that allow outliers to exist on the police department. Some of this work is simply changing the rules. Some of this is changing guidelines. It's not always about a dollar. And so I wanted to lift that up. But also, in talking with Scotty Johnson and pushing on where the guns coming from. This isn't a new conversation. We've been asking this since probably 2001 when we saw gun violence on the rise. I remember standing on the corner and a brother came to me. He said, "Sister, this is during the civil unrest and the curfew." He said, "Don't turn around." But guns are being dumped in our community right now as we speak. And I asked him to go talk to the brothers. I said, "Can you please go talk to the brothers that are standing there and give them that information?" Because it's perplexing to me how Black folk across the country are all experiencing the same thing at the same time. So when I asked Scotty Johnson, who is running for city council, where are the guns coming from? 75 South, North, what is it? Because we do know that CPD does talk to regional police, the FBI, ATF, all these people who should have their hands in stopping the mass implosion of illegal weapons coming into our communities, and somehow they find their way into our communities. So he said from Detroit, I think he said Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm going to push on that. I'm going to push CPD on that. We've been asking around this conversation around gun violence in the city of Cincinnati, and we've had, I think it's Lieutenant Vogelpool, who is over the new Gun Intelligence Center. And if you remember, after the Smell Park shooting where the two babies shot each other, that's what we were told had happened, that the powers that be do what powers that be do. And their first response is more police, more charges, more this, more that. And that was the first thing that came out of, this is how we're going to attack it. And that's not ever getting at the root causation. And so I'm going to push further to find out who is CPD talking to, and where are these guns coming from? Because that's been a decade-old question. The other thing that I wanted to lift up in asking sitting council person Gooden, why hasn't CCA gotten the money? Why has the money not been appropriated to the positions so that Mr. Davis, who is the executive director, can hire people so that the backlog can be addressed? The criticalness of that was the question around the Brandon Davis case. That's why it is so critical. And I'm hoping that if you didn't watch it last night, to go back and look at it again so you can begin to connect the dots and understand why all of these provisions and all of the work that we're pushing for gets done. They've already allocated the money. What's the holdup? And he said he didn't know and that he would get back on it. So I think there were some interesting things that came out of folks' mouths that want your vote. I'm not always interested in a new plan because you got to get buy-in from other people, and I don't know how much you've done to actually research your plan, especially when it comes to public safety in this town. I wanted to hear more lifting up and to see what people actually knew about what we actually have that people talking about all the time. So I think it's very interesting. Last thing I want to say, and I'm gonna make this quick because I got to go. But yesterday in City Hall, did you get a chance to watch City Council yesterday? I think it was the neighborhood.
I know we talked about it, but I have not. Nope. I'm glad you brought up. I'm tapping into it right now, actually.
Absolutely. That was very interesting to see Tom Brinkman and I think it was Kurt Hartman addressing the committee yesterday around the ballot initiative language. And I finally was able to hear what all the hoopla was about and what they were upset about. I think it was the tone and the looks and the interruptions, and especially toward words Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney, Councilwoman Kearney. I didn't understand that. I didn't even understand why Betsy Thunderman called the meeting in her committee, other than to have that show that went down yesterday. But folks need to pay attention to that. I think they were rude and obnoxious with let her speak. I mean, and it was a battle. I think that the fight is over median family income versus medium household income, and somehow the it says medium family as opposed to medium household. So in the language that the city wrote from the charter amendment, and I think that's what the Board of Election has. But I think they've come to some decision on the language. I don't know, but it was interesting watching that exchange happen. I want to bring that to folks' attention too, so you can see how people. You got it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find exactly where it starts at.
Let folks watch that, but I did want to say thank you to Send Digital Media, NAACP, of course, Prince Hall Masons, and all of the supporters. I got calls from several people that said by far the questions that are being asked from the NAACP are far greater than the questions that are being asked at any forums, and it gets to the heart of the matter. So keep it up, NAACP. I'm glad to be a member, glad to be the legal redress chair and the public safety chair. We need help to tackle these issues. So don't just watch the forums, but come on and join us and be a part of making change. I'll continue to listen, but I got to jump. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Nathan Ivey. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take it easy. Yeah, she did a good job last night. And I do agree about the questions. Not to put anybody else's forums down because everybody's trying to educate folks. But the one thing I'll say another thing I'll say about the NAACP is that they're constantly updating and changing them. Nothing is set in stone. Like if you have some questions, email TNT, email her, or here on Facebook, shoot her a question. Like as I'm preparing, they'll send me something. We might even be a day before. It might be the day of, like, hey, we got some new questions. Take a look at this that they got directly from the audience. So, you don't have to be silent. Don't feel as like, oh, my question is whatever. Just throw it out there. You know, nothing is set in stone. So I've watched since we've been doing this for 3-4 weeks now how the questions have evolved. Because sometimes you throw a question out there and you realize, oh, I'm not getting the response I was looking for. And not so smart people keep doing it just because they came up with the question already, but smart people change in the middle of it. And that's what this is. It's an evolution. And so I've noticed just the questions have changed, and they'll change between, you know, this week and next week. They got the mayoral forum next week, Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be moderating the next city council one. And so I'm already formulating new questions based upon how I look at the responses from what we've been doing so far. Sometimes you throw a question out there, you're like, oh, okay, well, I got to tinker with it. I got to edit it a little bit to get where I'm trying to get to. But, you know, ain't nobody perfect. We all humans trying to do the best we can for the community. So I appreciate the opportunity. And again, you can go back and check it out for yourself. Check it out for yourself. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Now, I want to talk about Black Panther real quick. I want to talk about Black Panther real quick. Hold on, drop. Just give me 2 minutes. I have arrived at a decision about Black Panther I want to share with you. Okay. Black Panther, at least in the Marvel MCU and the movies, should always be played by a black male. Always. I know there's some conversation. There's a question marks about what's going to happen. Are they going to continue the franchise out of Chadwick Boseman? Because in American culture, we need those kind of roles. Not to say that what happens is a movie is the most important thing, but man, people flock to these movies, and on some levels, popular culture has been used against us. So when we get positive images that we feel like we can get behind, that project, that are not afraid to project black male masculinity, right? Because T'Challa ran his ish. He ran Wakanda, right? He was the man. He won't wear no dress. He won't wear no makeup. You know what I'm saying? He was a man. Now, there were some other things, like if you remember, they didn't sexualize the role of T'Challa in the movie. In the comic books, T'Challa was getting busy. Hollywood still has a ways to go with being comfortable with promoting black male masculinity and also black male sexuality in the same movie. Denzel did a whole lot of movies where he was the alpha man. He ain't get no women. No women at all. It just goes with it. But for that reason, then you got so many images out there that people can look at and say, well, they're trying to emasculate black men. They're trying to promote something else. It's just a movie based upon a comic book. But I believe that just like James Bond should always be played by a male, the role of Black Panther should always be played by a black man. It's important for our culture, by American culture, for us to have at least one black male, masculine, wholesome, character, image, role out there. Because there ain't a whole lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Just want to share that with you. If you want to share your thoughts on it, please feel free to do so. 513-873-7134. So in the comic books, the role of Black Panther, the mantle was taken on by Shuri, T'Challa's little sister, right? That's in the comic books. In the real world, they need to keep a black man in that position. That's just me. If you want to chime in. It's a Friday. This is a place for all these kind of like random kind of flows. I do what I do. Share if you want to. Interact if you want to. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, the one and only, the truly hated and sometimes congratulated Drop Squad 52. How you doing, sir?
I don't think you're hated, man. I just think people trying to figure out where you're coming from sometimes. But I'm doing well, sir. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Mr. Ivy.
They don't hate you. They just trying to figure out where you're coming from.
Yeah, Mr. Ivy, I get more hate from black people than I do white people. So, and it's just about politics. It makes no sense. It shouldn't really even matter when a black person is against the traditional loyalty to the Democrat Party. There should be no pushback at all. But unfortunately, it is.
Yeah, but you
Mr. Ivy, headline.
But you earn it though, bro, because
it doesn't.
You challenge.
No, but
you challenge black people's relationship with Democrats, but you don't challenge black people's relationship with Republicans, and that's where you get pushback because you're not consistent.
Because Mr. Ivy, the numbers are so overwhelming that it's almost irrelevant the amount of Black people that publicly support the Republican Party. I said publicly because we already know at the voting at the ballot, the highest it's ever been was 15%, and that was done by the scary orange man. So, but again, Mr. Ivey, there should be zero pushback because one lone voice or very few voices speak to the people and just tell them, just be aware of who and why you're voting for the Democrat Party. I mean, it's just, that's just all it is.
There's
Mr.
nothing
Ivey.
wrong with that.
That's
Dre.
it.
I'm
Period.
just trying to tell you though, but the
I
other
know,
side
but
of that is,
but the hate
is
but
that
the
it's not
hate,
hate.
Mr.
It's not
Ivey.
hate. It's not hate. It's,
Mr. Ivey, I'm 60 years old,
it's not
sir.
hate,
I mean, I'm 61.
You want it to be hate because it's easier for you to understand it, right? You want it to be hate, but it's not hate.
Well,
it's you go hard about telling people not to vote Democrat, and I'm not saying
no, I don't. See,
yes,
there
you
you
do.
go. See,
You go hard. You go
me
hard in
again.
telling Black people and trying to expose why the Democrat Party is not serving Black people.
Thank you.
You go hard for that.
Thank you.
But what you don't
tell
do
people not
is
to vote.
explain why Black people should support the Republican Party. You don't do that, and you don't criticize the Republican Party. So
are you gonna
it
let
makes
me
it
talk?
seems like it makes it. I'm just trying to help you, brother. It makes it seems like your allegiances lie with the Republican Party and not really with Black folks, and that's where you fall out with people. I'm trying to help you.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the help, but you can't tell me what I think.
I'm not telling you what you think.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Mr. Ivey, I do not come on your show and campaign for the Republican Party.
Yes,
I've never done that.
You do.
I've never done that.
You do it every time you call in.
No, I speak about my representative.
No,
okay?
you don't. You spend a lot of time downing the job and the role of the Democrat Party. That's what you spend the majority of your time on. But what you don't do is explain the virtues of the Republican Party or criticize the Republican Party. So it becomes a tacit endorsement of the Republican Party, and that's what people are responding to.
Okay, if you're Mr. Ivey, if you're a loyal, dedicated Democrat, like let's just say Glenn from Mason, okay, if you're dedicated like him, why would you be concerned about what I'm saying? It's not going to matter. So the only reason that I can assume that people like Glenn from Mason and you with your little soliloquy right this minute ago,
a soliloquy is when the actor on stage talks directly to the audience. This is not the same. I'm talking directly to you.
That's what you're doing. This is my call, and you're doing a soliloquy with your audience.
It's not a soliloquy.
You're talking to your audience. You ain't talking to me.
I'm talking to you.
Talking to me.
I'm giving you advice, but you're so hard-headed that you won't listen.
No, you're not.
I am. I told you I'm trying to help you, brother.
No. I told you that I'm hated and sometimes
you're not hated.
And you said, no, you're not hated. This is what our audience thinks. And you start talking to your audience.
I'm trying to tell you how you come across. Maybe it's unintentional. You come across like you're a Black man trying to convince people, Black voters, to go Republican. That's how you come across.
You know what you just described? If you respond that way with what I say, that means you're insecure with your political.
Don't try that. Don't try that. No, that don't.
Because
you acting like you infallible. You acting like you haven't called into this show and given and passed off wrong information and bad information that needs to be corrected. You've done it many times.
It's just like Glenn. No, Glenn from Mason, Donita. That's insecurity with your party.
That's not insecurity to fact. What are you talking about? It is not insecurity when you call in here and you say something and try to pass it off as a fact. And it's factually not true.
Here's the fact.
That's not insecurity. That's called fact checking.
Can I tell you a fact?
Sure.
Chicago Tribune. President Joe Biden is losing support among critical groups in his political base as some of his core campaign promises falter, raising concern among Democrats that the voters who put him in office may feel less enthusiastic about returning to the polls in next year's midterm.
We've been talking about that since before the election. We already knew this was a potential way that things would go. And you've been, I bet you've been doing dances, haven't you?
Okay. First of all, nobody predicted that what's going on right now was going to happen.
Yes, we did.
Everybody put the beautiful image up that the Democrats were all together. They all formed Voltron just to get rid of the scary orange man. And we're going to support our old, decrepit Joe Biden. No. We see who's running the country right now, Mr. Ivy. It is no excuse for the Democrat Party not to have already signed the bipartisan infrastructure bill. That makes no sense. And that's why this article in the Chicago Tribune is exactly correct. Because in the past week, the push against immigration and what's happening overseas with the potential of more terrorists hooking up in Afghanistan, all these issues, Mr. Ivy, it is turning people off in the Democrat Party. So again, you can have your perception of me, Mr. Ivy, but perception is not always reality,
sir. In this case, it is.
This is your show. I love to engage you, but the way you just radio jumped my call was totally uncalled for.
I did not radio jump your call, brother. I was simply trying to give you a different perspective.
You radio jumped me, Mr. Ivy. You basically just stole on me while I'm on the phone trying to get my call in. You stole on me and radio jumped me. And you probably gonna call up your boys to finish me off. But that's okay, Mr. Ivy, because it ain't how you start, sir. It's how you finish. And the way the Biden-Harris administration is starting, they ass is going to be finished in 2024. He will be stripped of all power in Washington, D.C. in 2022, just like his former boss, Barack Hussein Obama. The same shit that happened to him
Barack Obama
in 2010.
Won his, wait, that's not
Barack
true.
Barack
Obama was term limited out.
Seats.
If he could have ran for a third term, he would have beat Trump against a wall. He would have beat Trump against a wall.
You radio jumping me.
I'm not radio jumping you. I'm just correcting
Mr. Ivy. See, you starting to change.
You're right. I am
sir.
radio jumping you. Goddamn it, you need to be radio jump. So you're right. I am radio jumping. So what?
Are changing, sir, because you know what I do, and I do it very well. I have just triggered you. Now, how did that happen?
Yeah, you triggered me, all right.
How did Nathan Ivy get triggered by Drop Squad 52?
I'm gonna keep you on. Listen, if by trigger you mean you say things that are inaccurate, and I'm here to correct you, I'm triggered. So you're right.
No, I am amazed at my ability sometimes. But anyway, Mr. Ivy, I appreciate the interaction and the exchange.
Same here.
But Mr. Ivy, the fact that a lot of people say that it was black people who put Joe Biden in office.
They did put Joe Biden in office.
Suburban. Can I finish, please?
Yes, it's a conversation. Yes, go right ahead, sir.
But Mr. Ivy, I'm not used to this with you. And that's why I say I'm noticing a change in you when it comes to me. Mr. Ivy, you used to let me get on here and flow. But now, all of a sudden, that Joe Biden is in the White House, you want to have a conversation. You want to cut me off because you know I'm getting ready to bring that smoke. But anyway, like I was saying, Mr. Ivy, people say it was black people who put Joe Biden in. It was white suburban women who put Joe Biden in. It was the young voters who put Joe Biden in. Well, right now, Mr. Ivy, those three categories, the white suburban women, they're getting disgusted with what's going on in their schools. Black people are getting disgusted because no John Lewis voting rights. No John Lewis Voting Rights Act. No George Floyd criminal justice. No $15 an hour. No student loan. None of this stuff is happening for the black voters. Oh, and reparations. And then you got the young people who wanted their student loan canceled. They wanted to do something about police criminal justice reform. All these things that those three groups wanted is not happening. It is not happening. It makes no sense.
And what role does your party play in that?
It makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't consistent. You don't really care about the policy.
Okay,
You're just
Mr.
here to
Ivy,
try to make the Democrats look bad. I mean, that's your flow. That's your flow. Because what you don't talk about
I don't
is
do
the
that.
role that
I
the
point out the
Republican
facts.
Party is playing while Biden is in office to prevent all this policy you keep talking about from coming to fruition. You don't discuss that at all. And that's where people have an issue with you, Drop.
Mr. Ivy. It's not necessary because
It
you
is
always
necessary because it's the other side of the conversation.
The chop shop. No, because you always say the chop shop is full of smart, intelligent black people.
And that's the reason why you get pushback. Because as I said, they're smart, intelligent black people, and they can see what you're trying to do. That's why you're not getting.
Mr. Ivy,
now we've come full circle, brother. Thank you so much.
We
We've
ain't
come full circle. Okay.
I appreciate
to what I
that,
told
Mr.
you
Ivy.
earlier.
Okay.
It's not
we ain't
hate.
come no full
It's
circle.
love.
That's your circle.
They love you so much that they're going to try to correct you when you call in and say crazy-ish.
I love you so
That's love.
Boy, Mr. Ivy, what you just said, that just made my day, okay? But it can't nothing make me mad, Mr. Ivy. I love calling
I don't want you to be mad.
But if this is how we gonna go, if you want to engage me, that's cool. But it seems like you acting like a radio talk show host, and I'm the Republican guest, and you cutting me off, just like Roland Martin does. But I can handle it, sir. I can handle it because guess what? God willing, I can make another call tomorrow because guess what? It's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. Be safe in them streets and go Bengals. Peace out, people.
I appreciate them to call. That's black. I was trying to help them, man. The most hated. Ain't nobody hating you. That's love, man. They're taking the time out of their busy days, their busy day, to share some information with you, and you just so abstinent that you won't get it. You just won't get it. Pamela writes, Nathan is tired of your lies, Drop. You never talk against the GOP. Black people aren't getting disgusted at Biden. We are disgusted at the GOP blocking everything right. I mean, it's two sides of the equation. That's why I say some black media is doing their audience a disservice because they're saying the same thing Drop is to their audiences. I'm talking about the chick on Fly Nubian Queen. It's a whole bunch of cats on YouTube that's running that nonsense. They're doing a disservice. Biden don't care. Biden don't care. Biden don't care. But there's an other side to that conversation, though. You know what I'm saying? It matters who's running. The numbers in Congress matter. The numbers in the U.S. Senate matter. It'd be far more useful for you to break it down and tell people exactly who's voting which way so people know if they representative in their home state is really coming through from or not. But the low-hanging fruit and the easiest thing to say is Biden don't care about black people and just run with it. See, I told y'all, they ain't got no George Floyd Policing Act. Biden don't care about black people. But there's a whole world of politics behind these decisions. You know what I'm saying? You making a peanut butter sandwich, usually it has, or a sandwich, it's got two slices of bread, not just one. Come on now, it's two sides to this. Step your game up. Bunky writes, Nate is deflecting. Politically petty podcast show writes, not a single Republican voted for police reform and voting reforms. Right. Pamela writes, we do not love Drop. Can't stand to hear all those lies. He's a victim now. DeAndre writes, whose show is this? Bengals. Right. Bunky writes, Nate is caving for Joe Heavy. I'm not caving for nobody. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it when it comes to Drop. Alicia writes, Drop, you are not the co-host of the Nathan Ivey Show. Drip gets triggered. Drip gets off on triggering the show. Then he smokes a fatty. Hashtag trust. That's his whole deal. He gets off on triggering people. He loves when Glenn calls in and says his name, or Danita calls in and says his name. And then he sits back and rolls up a blunt because he's in California. He's already told us he gets that free weed, that recreational weed sent to the house. And that helps start off his day. And he's somewhere chuckling right now. He having a great time right now. Trust me. Kevin writes, he is talking about the midterm, Nathan Ivey, but the Republicans ain't getting no shine in all this time. Susan writes, there's no tolerance for the dissemination of misinformation in this room. Bunky writes, black Democrats won't speak up against Biden. Y'all just as bad as Trumpsters. Y'all quiet as a hoe in church. I don't hear that, man. I hear people like Roland Martin and others that voted for Joe Biden loud as hell about Joe Biden. That's what I hear. Oh, man. Let me see. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Sean writes, bashing the Democrat instead of promoting why we should vote Republicans. That's what I'm saying. I've talked to Republicans and say, y'all missing an opportunity with black people, man, because black people is open to vote Republican if Republicans come up with some ideas that black people feel like they can benefit from. But Republicans here in Hamilton County, they don't really spend no time on it. They don't really invest in it. You know what I'm saying? And where are all the candidates at, man? I was talking with Kevin Flynn, and you should hear some more candidates next week. You'll have more candidates come on the show almost every day. And we'll give them about 15 minutes apiece at this point. And he made an observation. He's like, Nate, yeah, I was asking him because he's got a unique perspective. He was on council, decided not to run for re-election, and he's coming back. So he had already been voted. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Flynn gets on city council. We'll have to wait and see. He's like, Nate, man, I don't see a lot of energy out here. There's not a lot of traffic for 35 people running for city council. And I agree. There should be yard signs at every major intersection. You know what I'm saying? You had some candidates that had yard signs up in January, February. And now that today is October 1st, maybe we'll see more of it, but I just haven't seen a whole lot of it, man. It's quite interesting. Good morning to you. Now let me give you a heads up for the people. So for a little while, I was trying out like a text messaging service. I'm going to shut that down. I really haven't used it a lot, and it's not as user-friendly for me and really what I wanted to do. So if you're a part of my text message club, I'm going to be shutting that down. I'll send you a text today, and I'm going to be putting those resources to some other things that I've got going on that are far more important to me at this point. And I think I might use another type of program, which I'll let everybody know. But want to make sure I put that out. Radio Drum. Nat writes, drip on his Rouse Transvan shit. Mississippi, hashtag sensitivity. That's right. That's right. A little bit. But he's always welcome, though. He's always welcome. Always welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Where we at? 9:41 a.m. Okay. Kevin writes, I agree, Brother Nate. We need more positive black male role models. I love our women, but our men are being constantly villainized. I say it again. There are plenty of good, strong black men out here, and that does not nor should not demean our sisters. We live in an age where basketball players wearing dresses. Out here wearing whole skirts, talking about I'm a man. Okay, you a man. But a lot of people are looking at saying that the image of black men and men in general is being emasculated. And so because of it, we need in our popular culture at least one, image of a black man in charge, full of his own masculinity, right? On some positive ish, and that's Black Panther. So I don't know what they're going to do with the Marvel canon, but I would hope that they just replace Chadwick Boseman with another brother. I had a different opinion at first, but now I've changed my opinion about it. And it's bigger than him, but it's also gender matters. Gender matters. And I started thinking about this because they got a new James Bond movie coming out, and there's a dude named Daniel Craig who's the latest James Bond. And he was asked a question about whether he thinks that, if James Bond should ever be played by a woman. And he said no. And when I read his answer, it made me think about Black Panther. I said, you know what, that's how I feel about Black Panther. But that's just me. Think what you want, feel what you want. That is my time. All right. I really appreciate you being here. It means everything to me. Have an excellent weekend, family. I hope to be with you. What's this? I hope to be with you back and hopefully better than ever. Let me see who's on the line here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
It's Maze.
Hey, what's up, Maze?
Oh, I have something about Drop Squad. Now, I'm going to do it like this. So you got a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. And he want to read some article somebody wrote out of a newspaper that has an opinion just like he did. What you're supposed to do to help people is take that article, read it, and give your own opinion on it. Not just come out with the Sean Hannity program talking about the president before, the one that just left. What does that got to do with what's going on now? And calling names. And if you, whatever party you belong to, that's the way you vote. And But he never said anything about the Republican Party. I talk about both of the parties because they're not trying to make a change. You got Chuck Schumer sitting up there not trying to make a change and using everything as an excuse. And then you got, what's the other one, Mitch McConnell doing the same thing because they all have the same ways. But Drop Squad don't have sense enough to know that. See, he let people think for him and he don't think for himself. That's his problem. And he's in love with the one that just left so much and said who love him, who don't. Why don't he go over there and talk to those people that love him so much that he loves? And coming over here to try to disturb people just having conversation. Because he's not important. Drop. Have a good one.
Drop. I'm telling you, Drop loves all this attention, man. I appreciate Maze. Glad she got in. Hey, listen, have an excellent rest of your day, family. It means everything. Don't forget and tell your family members that the last day to register is Monday and early voting starts October the 5th. So even if you think you're registered, just take a second and just make sure, just double check. You know, they be playing games with the, with registration. You know that. So just double check and make sure you know, even if you voted early this year in the primary. Now, you should be good if you voted in the primary this year. You should be good, but I would say double check anyway. Okay. And then early voting begins October the 5th. So hopefully we'll see and hear the promotion of these various candidates it's gonna turn up a little bit. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. Remember, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Stay focused, stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, show mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride.